Hello, everybody. My name is Franklin, and I'm here to talk to you about my 2021 language goals. Again, my name is Franklin, and this is first1000hours.com. And if you can see this picture right here, is showing you that I'm not going to be talking to you about some goals about me learning Korean or me learning German or me learning Russian or Portuguese. I'm learning Spanish, and I want to be serious about that this year in 2021. So with no further ado, let's talk about my 2021 language goals. All right, so the first one is that I want to read 2,000 pages of Spanish. And then my second goal is I want to watch 200 hours of Spanish courses designed for native Spanish speakers to teach them something outside of learning Spanish. So I want to talk about that today because you could be like, okay, well, that's what you did in 20, that's what you wanted to do in 2020. Yes, it is. And I will talk about that right now. So it's like, why did I choose the same goals as 2020? The short answer is I did not complete those goals that I had to read 2,000 pages in Spanish and then also to watch 200 hours of Spanish courses designed for native speakers. And I believe I am capable of doing that by God's grace, right? And so I want to continue on that challenge and go forward in that. And I want to say hello to Doing Me. It's nice to see you here at the live chat, and please feel free to ask me any questions about my language goals. All right, so the other question is this: why didn't I choose specific pages and courses to go through? You might ask that question. And what I found is when I was trying to do my 2018 goals, I had a book goal, and I found that that's not the best for me because the books are rated differently because you have, one book could be 100 pages, another book might be 600 pages. And so if I say I'm trying to read books and have a book goal, then basically the longer book doesn't get as much credit as the shorter book. So I thought it's better to do a page goal. The other thing that I like about that is that if I don't want to finish a book, I don't have to. It still counts. If I just read one page in that book and I go to another book, then it's still, my one page still counts. And so I like that it gives me a lot of flexibility. And then also the nice thing about choosing courses is the same thing. I might go on to a course by somebody. I might not like the course, or I might not want to finish that course. But even though I might not finish, those hours still count in those courses. So what I've currently done, and actually this is going on to the next question. Let me go to the next question. What are potential Spanish courses I might want to take this year? So what I've already started to do is I've started to take some LinkedIn learning classes. I've done that last year, and I did some of those LinkedIn learning things, and so I'm doing that again this year. And I've done some things on MailChimp, and by the way, I do have an email list. If you want to sign up to my email list, there's a link in the description of this video. And so I'm learning about email strategy and all that, and I'm learning that in Spanish at LinkedIn Learning. And I've in the past I have taken, I believe in last year, a class on WordPress, how to make a website and all of that. So that's what I like to do as well. So Doing Me, you asked me a question. You asked me, do you ever use Tandem? And I have no idea what Tandem is. I'm assuming that might be I'm assuming that might be something that I can actually connect with people with. But I don't know. So I can't answer that. I have never used Tandem. This is like the first time I've even learned about that. Now you asked another question. Any of the courses you're taking free? I don't know of. I'm not necessarily taking any free courses at this moment in time. LinkedIn Learning it costs $29 a month to do that, or $29.99. I might actually end up getting the year subscription to LinkedIn Learning. Now there is, you know what, I forgot, but there is a course that I would consider taking for free, and I forgot the name of it. It's like a learning platform where you can learn a lot of different things, I believe, for free. And I think they had a WordPress course. I thought I was going to take it last year, but I didn't. And so that's something that can you can do. I think it's kind of like I have not taken this class in English, but this like Khan Academy. It's not Khan Academy, but it's something kind of like, I believe, Khan Academy, where you can take free courses. And so the my main thing is I want to take things that I actually might want to use in real life, and help me to learn more in areas that I'm interested in, which is technology, specifically I would say content marketing. I would say specifically learning websites, email marketing, things like that. And then I'm also interested potentially in learning the piano. Back in the day, I was playing the piano, and my mom was helping me to learn the piano, but I was not interested in it, and I wish I was, but I wasn't. And it's amazing that back in the day, like when I was 7 or 8, I could play the piano well. Or at least better than what I can do now. I wouldn't say necessarily well, but now I can only do "Joy to the World" on one hand. And so I would like to potentially learn about how to play Christian hymns and I could buy a keyboard and then just take some Spanish classes. But then I need to figure out what course is that all about and all that. So okay, Tandem is a language exchange app. So I've never used Tandem for a language exchange. I've used WhatsApp for language exchange. I had a language partner named Blanca, and so we did a language exchange for 9 months on WhatsApp. And so we would talk back and forth on WhatsApp, and so we would have one day in English, one day in Spanish, and that was really fun. And we would just talk throughout the day, send audio messages, send pictures, send videos, and different things like that. And it happened that, like, I don't know, like from those first conversations till like about 2 years later, I actually met Blanca in real life in Houston at a youth conference, a Christian youth conference, and we got to spend some time together. So I thought that was nice. And so what I do now, I guess, is in terms of actually meeting and interacting with Spanish people, like electronically, is I go to Zoom meetings. I've gone to Zoom meetings, Christian Zoom meetings, or Seventh Day Adventist Zoom meetings, and I have already this year gone to 4 Zoom meetings. They're about an hour long. I actually was just in a Zoom meeting about an hour ago, and that was for an hour. So, yeah, about an hour ago. So, and so I get to continually interact with natives. I was like the only person from the United States that was in the meeting. So I feel like I'm getting experience that's native level all the time. And it's part of my lifestyle because I have an opportunity to be in those Zoom meetings twice, 2 times a week, or 3 times a week. So it's either 2 times or whatever I do a week. But I'm sure Tandem could be good. I've heard a lot of people talk about Hello Talk. So that could be something. Tandem can be something nice to interact with people as well. And I have to look into that a little bit. Okay, so I want to continue on some of these presentations, or this presentation. And again, you can feel free to ask me questions. I'm here. I do things live. Not afraid to do live streams. Okay, so this is what it says here. And I see what you said. Doing mean awesome. I don't know if you looked at any language learning goals, and you can see what other people are talking about in 2021, and you can be inspired by others, right? But you want to compete only against yourself. And what I want to say here, when I say compete against yourself, is it should be a big competition. You should be like almost sweating a little bit. Maybe that's like a little exaggeration, but you should be a little bit afraid to compete against yourself. So you don't want to have like this easy challenge because you're competing against yourself. And so I want to share with you my competition. And I'm actually, this is going to be a little hard. Franklin of 2019 is somebody that it's going to be a little difficult for me. Okay, it's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be easy for myself because guess what? In 2019, I read around 1,480 pages. And I thought at that time, when I had the page goal of reading 12 books, I only read 6. I was like, I'm just kind of, I'm not really, I'm a little lazy and I didn't meet my goal and I didn't really see the progress that I made, but as much until this year at the end of 2020, I'm looking at where I was. And it's like, whoa, just a minute. I only read 138 pages in Spanish. So it's like, whoa, in 2019, I was a little bit more ambitious and I actually got to a higher level in 2019. And so I want to beat both of those Franklins, the Franklin of 2019. I'm sorry, the Franklin of 2019 and also the Franklin of 2020. And so I want you to do the same and fight and compete against yourself. And that's how we make progress. We sometimes when we look at other people, we're not focusing on the right things. If we're looking at them for this and being discouraged, we look at them and we can get inspiration. All right. And also, okay, so let's talk about this as in terms of what I want to do in progress. Because it's one thing I can come up here, I can talk to you about my goals, and that's nice, right? For me to talk about my goals. But sometimes when I look at people talking about goals, I also then want to see, okay, what's the follow up? Like, what happened? Like, did you actually accomplish it and all that? And so, what I like about a live stream and talking in this manner is I can just be kind of real and raw with you. I can talk to you, and I want to give you progress updates, and most likely will be monthly updates like I did in 2020, but it's going to have a little twist to that, and I'll talk about that right now. So this is what I want to do. I want to have progress reports that will compare 2019 versus 2020 versus 2021. Now, in 2019, I did not do a monthly progress report. I did quarterly progress reports. So at that point, when I'm comparing my 2021 progress versus 2019, it will be on a quarterly basis. But in 2020, I did a monthly progress report so I can actually compare monthly. So that's one thing I want to do there. And also, I want to share my cumulative reading progress from 2018 or 2019. I'm not exactly sure which one I will do. What I think is pretty cool, I'll just go back to this slide right here. When you look at it from a year perspective, you can see, okay, 2019, I read 1,480 pages. But if you combine both of those years together, you'll see that both of those years was approximately 2,616 pages. So, when you look at it in a year basis, it's whatever it is. But when you look at it on a cumulative basis, you can see even more of your progress over time. And I should say those books I read that I marked out and all that was basically Philippians 4 verse 8, native level books written for adults. So I didn't read any beginner books when I was reading for Spanish and all of that as well. Okay, so I'm excited to look at the cumulative reading progress, and I say from 2018 or 2019, I didn't really document a lot of stuff in 2018 like I did in 2019, but I believe there's an old video that talked about at least some of the reading I did in 2018 and gave like a page amount. And so if I can find that video and find out at least the page amount that I had, then I will add that to my cumulative reading progress. If I can't, then I will just start from 2019. All right, so I want to share something else, and that's the importance of documentation. And I think that this is so important. But before I get there, I want to look and read this comment right here by Protege A. It says, "Good evening. I enjoyed joining one. Sorry. Good evening. I enjoyed joining one of the Zoom Spanish prayer services once. Are there any other prayer services that I could possibly join?" Yes, there are. And actually, I was just in a Zoom meeting, and I don't know if you are on my email list. I would recommend that you get on my email list. I have a description in the, I have a link, not a description, a link in the description of this video. And one thing I do is I do a lot more than just talk about the Zoom meetings, but I think that's important to talk about Zoom meetings because that gives you an opportunity to connect with people that are native level Spanish people. And at the same time, you can learn more about the Word of God and things like that. So I think it's a win-win situation. So I typically have put the links to the Zoom meeting in the description of that. I'm sorry, in the description, in the emails I send out. That's what I meant to say. The email is in the description of this video, the link, but the actual links are in the emails I send out. And then also in some of my videos here at First 1,000 Hours, if you don't want to join the email list, you'll see that when I talk about my Zoom meetings, I put the links there as well. So I was just in a Zoom meeting a Spanish Zoom meeting with my friends from Costa Rica, and that started at 7. No, it started at 6:30 Central Time. And the reason why my live streams have changed, because now my live streams are at 8:30. The only reason it changed from 8:30, to 8:30, is because I wanted to make sure I was at those Zoom meetings and be serious about that. Okay, so Doing Me said this. Do you ever think about having a language study group, kind of like a Bible study group, only with Spanish learning books? That's what I'm trying to do. A study group in your home or local library, not in Zoom meetings. I haven't thought about doing that. I personally like to be with the natives because I just have seen a different um, I've seen a different level. Like one time I went to a meetup, and then I was with different people, and we were talking in Spanish and all that stuff, and for the most part I liked it. There were some things I didn't, but for the most part I liked that Zoom meetup. Okay, but then like the next week I was like, I'm just gonna go to a Spanish church, and it's like light years different. It was, the challenge was harder, and I didn't understand as much because you have people that are trying to learn Spanish versus people that actually know Spanish, and so it actually upped the level in the game and all of that. And I just like putting myself in challenging situations. And I talked about my experiences. I would highly recommend that you watch a video where I talked about going there 4 times in a row and having a really bad level of comprehension. I'll put a YouTube card right up here, and I'll put that in the description of this video as well. But this is what I want to say. Doing Me, one thing that is in the back of my head is this: I want to open up an opportunity potentially to have people connect with First 1,000 Hours in Zoom. So that's like in the back of my mind. I've done live streaming for over a year and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, I can keep on talking, but I'm thinking about how can I create experiences with this brand. And so I have an interview I'm going to be doing with one of my friends, Samuel Francis, that has been on this channel before. And so then we're going to be talking about, I guess I could tell you a little bit of it. We're going to be talking about God's purpose and relating that to language learning, and then having potentially a Zoom meeting where we can connect and talk about, how are we going to use our language learning for other people. So when we'll be able to have that kind of activity where we're together connected on Zoom, but then that gives you an opportunity to meet up with different people, and then you can actually benefit from the brand of First 1,000 Hours, and you might find people that have similar interests with you that you might want to connect with. And so I think that's one thing that I want to do, because I think that we're in the era of virtual experiences, and I want to capitalize on that and still give people value, and that's one thing I can do. But yeah, I think for me, if I was going to do something local, it probably would just be with natives. But now, I'll say one more thing. I'm saying a lot about this topic, but y'all know I can talk. I think one other thing I'm doing, as far as helping people with Spanish, I'm working with a friend, and we are working on a mini Spanish comprehension course, and we are working on that. I keep on talking about that, but I can tell you we are working on that. We already did a mock Spanish class, and we will have that available on First 1,000 Hours in a little bit. I can't tell you exact time, but we are working on that, and as soon as it comes out, we'll let you know. Okay, and you'll get to see my friend on this channel and all of that as well. So that will be something that can help people, jumpstart their comprehension and gain the confidence, mindset, and skill set to comprehend Spanish from day one. All right, so I will also want to share this, and it's talking about the importance of documentation. So what is really cool is that I can tell you about my page journey and what I've done and things like that. But if I didn't have that, then I couldn't tell you as much of my story. So I do things that I don't document. Like I watch YouTube videos. I'll look at things in Spanish, or I might do stuff like that. But I like to have at least something where I am focused on documenting it, and it helps me to know what my progress is when I look back. Because sometimes when you look forward and you might make a mistake or something like that, you might be like, oh man, I made a mistake. I don't like where I am. But when you look backward, it really helps out. For instance, today I can tell you one mistake I did just for fun is I was making an appointment to the dentist, and the people that work in this dental office, they are bilingual. And so I said, hey, can I just talk to you in Spanish and make my appointment? So I basically I did make the appointment in Spanish, and we went back and forth talking and all this. But she said, ocho dias is my time for my appointment. And I thought she was saying 8 days. And I was like, sorry, ocho am. And so she's saying ocho dias. And so I messed up on that. And so we ended up talking a little bit in English, but mainly it was in Spanish. And then she, and then I got clarified because I mess up sometimes on numbers, but it's okay. I messed up, right? But I got to make progress and all that stuff as well. Doing me, I want to look at what you said here. You said, when I read books by myself, I tend to not get much reading done. I get tired or frustrated because I don't understand a few words and end up putting the book down. Okay, now I can tell you that for myself, when I was actually, my first book I tried to read was Palabras de Vida del Gran Maestro in Spanish. And I had a goal to read, I thought I was going to read that book. I didn't even know what I was doing, okay? No one talked to me about how to read a book in Spanish, okay? So I picked up that book and I read half of a page. And for that whole year, I read half of a page. Now, I eventually went back and actually read the whole book. But at that point, I just read half of a page, so I can understand how you could just get frustrated and all that. But I would say, I would really encourage you, if you haven't already, to watch the video I did. It's 34 seconds long, and I'll put a YouTube card up here. It's about how if you can read a sentence in Spanish, you can read a book. Okay, so I wouldn't be focused so much on trying to read the book. For myself, I had a page goal of just reading 1 page a day. When I came here to try to read this, 1 page a day, 5 days a week. It took me like 30 minutes to read this book. But I would say that there's other ways to read than using a physical book, and that's why I've talked about things like LingQ. And so I would recommend using like the Google Translate web extension, which you can do for free on your desktop. And you could have a book and use that. And I have a tutorial about that. It's called Read Spanish Books Faster. It's on my Reading in a Foreign Language playlist. And you could also use LingQ as a paid application, but then you can start clicking on words that can help you progress a little bit faster. But it's a challenge, but you cannot. This is the thing about language learning. If it's comfortable, you're probably not learning a lot. Okay, I mean. Especially if you're a beginner, you have to throw yourself in the water and get to the point where it's like, man, it's going to be either sink or swim or something. You have to challenge yourself. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And when you get to those challenging moments, those are opportunities to grow. So I would not shrink from those, but look at those as opportunities to grow. And I like to claim a promise, Philippians 4 and verse 13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. And I have a lot of resources on reading that I think can be helpful, and I will continue to talk about reading because I think that's like the key to unlocking comprehension in Spanish, and it has helped me tremendously. So when I go on those Zoom meetings, I understand basically around 90% or more typically. I'm talking about people speaking, not when it's singing. If I'm not seeing the words on the screen, singing is a little bit different, but actually people speaking, I understand around 90% of what people are saying in those Zoom meetings or more, typically. All right, so that's what I had to say about my progress report, and I want to encourage you. I have one more thing to encourage you about challenges. And I did this video. This video is over like an hour long. It's a long video or whatever. But I talk about 10 plus challenges that I encountered with Spanish and overcoming that. And so that is a video that I will recommend, and I'll put a YouTube card right up here. Okay, so I want to look at this. Protege A says this: I've been using both Link and ReadLang for a digital language reading in Spanish. What are you using to measure your reading goals? I also read physical books. I use a lot of resources. So for me, I am just using the actual page in the book to measure my reading goals. That's what I'm using. So the thing is this, and I wonder if I can do this real quick. I'm going to talk, and I'm going to try to show you something, and hopefully I can do this while I'm talking. I'm actually going to LingQ right now, and I actually unsubscribed to LingQ. I might get it back again, but I'm logging into LingQ right now, and I want to show something that I like. This is one of the features I do like about LingQ, showing the language progress. And so I've read over 1 million words in LingQ. So that's what I like to say. I like the fact that LingQ gives that progress, so that you can kind of get a ballpark of what you know, or what you have done, I should say, with the program. And so I'm looking at my other computer right now because I'm trying to get to the point of showing you that progress. And let's see if I can do that real quick. I'm sorry if you can't hear me because my head is now turned somewhere else. Just a minute. Okay. And this is something I was talking to someone else about. And I'm about to put this on the screen if I can. Man, my computer is giving me some problems. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. But basically, this is what I'll say basically, because I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. The nice thing is when you are reading, you are able to encounter different words. And so you're going to be able to see those words come up so many multiple different times. And so you get to learn words in context is going to help you. Man, I'm not a good multitasker right now. So this is like, I'm like messing up my live stream, trying to do two things at once because I didn't have this queued up. I like to have my presentation queued up. But anyway, I'm not even going to worry about it. Okay, I'm just going to go back to I'm going to be looking at the camera. Okay, so basically I've read over 1 million words on LingQ, right? And so, but really, LingQ says that I've read about 26,000 words. And I just kind of divide that by 3 to get like what the unique words are. And so I get to see these same words over and over and over and over again. It's just in a different context. And I think that prepares me when I'm actually listening to things in Spanish. And so I think reading is a built-in like memory system or review system. And so, okay. And doing me, I'm glad that you're asking that question as well to Protege. This is what I kind of thought would happen with First 1,000 Hours when I had a live stream, that my network would grow, and so then we could actually benefit not only from myself speaking, but from other people being able to communicate with each other. And so that's the cool thing about live streams that I've encountered in other live streams as well. Okay, and actually, I think I can show this to you. Yay, finally. So that's it right there. It says that I know on LingQ, it says I know 2,670 words. And you can see right there, my word count right here is over 1 million words. Some of these would be English because when I've imported things into LingQ, there have been some English words, but I don't believe it's over like 200,000 words. I don't know how many words it would be in English, but most of it, like probably 95%, 99% or something like that is in Spanish. And then you can see that, yeah, and so basically LingQ counts variants of words. So that's why I just basically divide the word count by 3. And then I can see basically what I know. But even though I have read, just 1 million words, a lot of those words are repeating over and over and over again because my known word count, if we even look at LingQ, is just 26,770. Okay. All right. And so, all right, you're welcome. Yeah. I know you would know, Protege, about that. I was kind of just showing that for doing me, because if you use LingQ, then I'm sure you would know about that because that's one of the biggest features about LingQ. Okay, and doing me, you said that's my 2020 goal to do more listening comprehension in Spanish, that's awesome. That's going to help. And like I think I told you this last time, but just for everybody else, one thing that I've liked is the fact that I bought wireless headphones, and so when I put those wireless headphones on, I could use them when I was in the car. I know a lot of cars. I have like an older car, so I don't have the newer car that you could just connect like with an audio jack, and or you can connect it with wirelessly through Bluetooth or whatever. But I just had a Bluetooth headphone, listen to things in the car, listen to things while I'm shopping, listen to things while I was in the park. I was doing stuff even when I was exercising on my step exerciser in my duplex. I'll be watching Spanish videos. I was like all out and listening. And then I had those long drives where I would go to my church or whatever. I would be listening, and that helped because. But when I listened and I read, when I was reading my books too, those things helped. And so listening, it was not a linear journey for me when I just listened and I understood everything, but I would listen anyway. And then it came to a point where I was able to understand like one pastor and what he was saying the clearest. And then it came to one YouTuber. Then I got to understand one YouTuber that I was listening to more clearly than other people. Then there was a second one, and then slowly but surely I got to understand other people and all that. And so I thank God for that. But I was looking and using YouTube subtitles as well. So I just went all in trying to read and listen. Okay, so it says right here, I don't know who you are, but you say by word count you're B2 on the CEFR scale. So there you go, B2, and so that's interesting. I know, and talking about B2, and B2 is you're talking about this thing called like it's CEFR levels. It's the Common European Framework Reference for Languages. It's the standard that the European standard of kind of analyzing where you are in a language. So when I have uploaded some books to ReadLang that I have used to read a little bit, or at least like one or two, it does say that those books are B2. Now, when I have looked into using the Duolingo CFR checker, and I put like one chapter of this book in there, I saw that according to Duolingo, the first chapter of this book was a C1 level, but it kind of depends. But yeah, I have learned about 8,000 words, and so I'm going to continue to expand my vocabulary. And another thing I like about reading is that you can learn more of those rarer words that you're not going to necessarily learn as much from conversation. So you get to go deeper into vocabulary and learn words in context, which I like as well. So Doing Me says, I have Sirius XM in my car. I listen to a Spanish news station sometimes. That's cool. That you're able to have that immersion in your car. And sometimes, sometimes I don't take advantage of the time in my car. And these days, I sometimes have wanted to listen like to some a radio program in English in the car, but man, sometimes I really don't want to listen to that right now. But yeah, I need to take more advantage of listening to things, even though I have a really short commute to my work. It only takes me a few minutes to get to work, but it's important because during the day that could be like 24 minutes or so going back and forth from lunch and going back to work to take advantage of the time. And Doing Me says, I also listen to Spanish podcasts on the app Podcast Addict. All right, so that's something to do as well. And I have listened to a little bit of podcasts. I listen to more sermons, I would say, but I've listened to a little bit of podcasts. One thing that I have kind of been interested in, I'm not saying I like everything in this with this brand, but it's called Libros para Emprendedores. And so I like to learn about business. And so what this person does is he reads business books. His name is Luis. He reads business books, and then he will give a summary of it on his podcast. And so his podcast is around like an hour and 30 minutes long. And so it's like, wow, you're getting summaries of a lot of different books. He's done so many different book reviews on his channel. And so I've been pretty interested in that. And I don't even know of a counterpart to that in English. I'm sure that there's somebody that's doing that in English, but that's the nice thing of being able to know some things that are done in English, some things that are done in Spanish. I would say something else that I have not taken, so again, I can't necessarily recommend this or whatever. But sometimes I have watched some videos from Sonia Alicia that I have liked, and she is a Spanish speaking YouTuber, and so she talks about how to grow a YouTube channel and things like that. And so she has a Spanish, like a master class or something like that, of how to get clients from YouTube. And so it's all in Spanish, and it's a free class or whatever. And I just saw that she sent that to my email, and so I am probably going to at least investigate that and look at that. So that's something I get to do for free from Sonia Alicia. And so I like the fact that I have those type of connections where I have a lot of like marketing emails that I have in English, but I'm expanding my network in Spanish as well, which is cool. So doing me are his reviews in Spanish. What's his name again? His name is Luis, and it's libros or books, libros para emprendedores. So I might be saying it wrong. I probably am, but it's basically saying books for entrepreneurs, and so that is. Let me see if I can actually type this in. I'm going to type this in the. I can't really type it in the live chat. I'm using StreamYard's OBS right now to be able to talk in this live stream, and for some reason I can't just easily post what I want to say into the chat. So if you bear with me, I will get the name and then give that to you as well. And so yeah, you can feel free to comment here or even comment into the on the channel of this video when this video comes out, and be able to put the podcast or whatever that you're listening, that you look at or listen to, and all that stuff as well, in your Spanish journey. And if I am not able to post this right now, then what I will do is I will post that. I will post that and put that in the description of this video, because I'm trying to just go and post it in the chat, but I'm having problems. Yeah, there you go. Luis Libros is Libros para Emprendedores. Okay, so I can even spell that out for you, I guess. That might be the best thing for me to do. It's Emprendedores. So that is what it is right there. So I don't know if y'all have any more questions for me. It was nice for y'all to be here at the live chat, and I like the fact that y'all came out, because there you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is what it is. Thank you so much for putting that in the chat. You beat me there as well. So, we do live stream. I like to do weekly live streams here at First 1,000 Hours, and we get to benefit from connecting with each other, which I thought was one of the purposes of being able to do live streams. It's not just for me to talk into the camera, which I definitely can do, but it also is to, I think, have personal connections and be with people that want to learn languages, because I don't know if you have the same experience that I do, but in my real life, in my 3D world, there's not a lot of people that are interested in learning languages. And so that's the cool thing about having the internet, and being able to connect with similarly minded people. And so that's what is cool about that. Okay, so I know I've talked a lot, but it was nice interacting with you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put on the screen that video that I was talking about 10 plus overcoming 10 plus challenges in Spanish. And I would encourage you to look at that. I know my lighting a little bit is off a little bit, but it's a very important video, I think, because don't let challenges discourage you with Spanish. Overcome them. You can do that by God's grace. And then also there's a video that YouTube recommends, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks again for coming.